it would be permissible. So let's take an example. If you have water running in your garden, you started before Shabbos, it's going to continue throughout Shabbos, you're going to be watering your fields. Is that a problem? It's a technical problem. Is that a problem? So it's not a problem because the melacha started on Friday and your hose is not obligated not to do any melacha on Shabbos. The same would be when you have go wrong. Let's go. So if it's going to burn, what are you going to do?
Turn it off.
Adjust the flame. So now you're going to adjust the flame. Turning down the flame is called mechaber, extinguishing, diminishing the fire. That's its own malacha. It's one of the, if it's not cooking enough, increasing the flame is its own malacha, which is mavir, making a fire or adding to a fire. So we are concerned about turning down and making the fire greater. So therefore, they said you'll need a reminder. So what's the reminder? How do you remember that it's Shabbos and you're not going to adjust the flame in any way? What do you have to do? That's the blech. So blech is a Yiddish word which means a metal sheet. So we're going to have a reminder. We're going to cover up the flame before Shabbos, and we're going to have it. So that is your reminder to any item, any source of heat that could be adjusted, made higher or lower, needs a reminder, which is our blech. Or doesn't have to be a blech. It could be any other item that will be a reminder. That would be also aluminum foil. A heavy layer of aluminum foil would do the same. So what are some of the ways, according to our cooking methods? We don't have the flame necessarily. What are the other things that would need a covering? So that would include our electric stove types. What else? What else? A hot plate that has knobs that you could adjust low, medium, and high. One could forget and make the adjustments as well. So that would need a covering. So we could put a heavy layer of aluminum foil or a blech if you wish. Something else that also has the knobs, that would be called a crock pot. Crock pot also has the knobs, adjusted, low, medium, high. And therefore we are concerned you might forget. So what do we do with your crock pot? As an insert, how do we make a blech for a crock pot? How do we make a blech for a crock pot? Anyone? Does anyone cook with the crock pot? Did anyone see anyone cooking with the crock pot? Okay. What is done to make the reminder?
Is a timer on it?
Timer is not going to it's not going to do the job. Some aluminum foil.
Over the knobs?
No, put it. Layer the aluminum foil inside the insert wherever you put in the body of the crock pot. Usually it has an insert. Take it out. Then it has the body. So you put some aluminum foil lining the body of the warmer.
But that you might not see that. Like it.
That's okay, but just you put it on before Shabbos.
It's like the plastic, and then put it inside the plastic. You're saying?
There's a plastic is going to melt. It's going to melt.
Whatever. Like you put the bags, like
the cooking bags.
Yeah, you use a crock pot bag so it doesn't.
Okay, but that's not enough. You have to have the actual heating element needs a color, needs a cover.
So where do you put the aluminum?
No, you take out all the inserts, everything else. Now you just have the body.
Oh.
Now you have just a
got
pot
it.
that's hot.
Yeah.
And then you line it with aluminum foil. And then you put the insert in. And then you could put the other things in as well. Okay. So Shehiyah, leaving it on an open flame, needs a reminder. Now there's another issue. Someone wants to leave food on the blech over Shabbos. What would some of the concerns that might take place? Might forget, and even with a blech, you might do something that is, you're not going to lower the flame, you're not going to adjust the flame, but there's other things that could go wrong when you have food on a blech.
Just have this issue. So if you have like buffalo wings and it's on the blech and the liquid seeps out, aren't you technically like cooking the liquid?
But that's already, if you did that before Shabbos, then it could cook on Shabbos. That's fine. So what other things could go wrong when we're putting food on a blech? Yes?
If we move it from like the edge to the center, you're adjusting the heat.
Okay. Now, so let's get with another principle. This is a very good thing. We're going to speak about this briefly, and then we're going to cover it fully at a later time. And that is once something is cooked, a salad, once a salad is cooked, reheating it again on Shabbos is permissible, as long as it does not look like you're cooking. It should not be neither kamavashal, it should not look like we're cooking. So therefore, coming back, I'm just mentioning this now. We're going to cover this fully later, but I want to say what happens if you have something that's fully cooked. Increasing the heat would be permissible if it's fully cooked. If it's fully cooked.
Using electric.
No. So how do we do that? So if it's on the blech, it's fully cooked, moving it closer to the source of fire would be permissible. Something is fully cooked, and it's on a blech, and it's further away from the fire, it's still warm, it's still hot, you can move it in closer. How close? That's a controversy. So,
Can I just ask a quick question?
yes?
So when you say fully cooked, do you mean fully cooked and completely cold, or fully cooked,
Fully cooked
and
hot
warm?
and warm. Fully
Okay,
cooked and
thank
hot.
you.
Okay. If it's on the blech, fully cooked and hot.
Gotcha, thank you.
Okay. Now, okay. This is our fire. Anyone see it?
Yeah.
Okay. This is our blech. That's the fire. Now we have the pot fully cooked. And it's not hot enough. You want it to be hotter. It's fully cooked. It's still hot. You can move it closer, 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 closer. How close could you move it to the fire? So if it was on the fire to begin with, partially, then you're not restricted. If it's partially on the fire, you could put it completely over the fire. Moving it away is no issue. Always pushing away, that's no issue. That's greasing, that's not an issue. But moving it to the fire. So now it's something that's controversial. You'd have to check with your rabbinic authority. There is a term that's called, what's this? Oh. Eish is fire. Somuch means near. Al means above, on. So if it's on the fire to begin with, if it's al ha'esh, there's no restriction. If it's fully cooked, to move it closer in, that would be fine. If it's samach la'esh to begin with, how close could you move it to the eish? So there's some who say if it's samach la'esh, it has to be samach la'esh. You cannot move it completely over the fire. There are others who say since it's on the blech is combining everything, and therefore you can go with al ha'esh as well. So therefore, this is something that is controversial among the different halachic authorities, and therefore this class is not going to give a ruling on this. And even among the Chabad rabbis, there are different opinions about if something is on the blech, fully cooked, and it's samach la'esh, they'll have to stay samach la'esh. In other words, you can go all the way until not to go over the fire. But if it's al ha'esh, then there is no restriction at all. If it's samach la'esh, that would be two opinions. So now I
noticed you're not picking it up, you're sliding it. Are we allowed to pick it up or?
So that's our next topic.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, so putting on a food that's fully cooked, moving it around on the blech would be fine. The problem would be if it's not fully cooked. You put on the cholent on Friday. If it's not fully cooked, so first of all, could you do so? Could you put an uncooked food on the blech on Friday? It'll be ready on Shabbos. Could that be done?
If it's before Shabbos, then yes.
You put it on before Shabbos. But there are some rabbinic restrictions. And that would be that when is it going to be ready? If it's going to be ready at night, then it could not be put on Friday before Shabbos. So let's say if you have potatoes, how long does it take to cook potatoes? Give me a time.
Maybe 20 minutes.
Potatoes,
Maybe 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay. So you put it on before Shabbos. It's going to be ready. It's raw, but it's going to be ready on Shabbos itself for your evening meal. We considered that you might doctor it and check up on it and see how it's feeling. So that's no good. It would only be something that is completely raw, and it will not be ready in the evening. You will have to take hours and hours when you're having your evening meal, you're having your Shabbos Seudah Friday night, it's not ready, so you're not going to be doing anything because when are you going to having it? You're going to be having it the next day. At that point, there's no reason for you to make any adjustments because after 12 hours, no matter where it's on the blech, if it's still hot on the blech, it's going to be ready next day. So there's no reason for you to make any adjustments. So if it is a food that is ready at night, you could not leave it raw on Friday. If it's something that is fully, that it takes a very long time to cook, it will not be ready on Friday night, then you could put that raw item in the pot and have it a chunk that is raw. If it has meat in it, that's going to take a longer time to cook. Are we clear on that?
No, like, as I know, we can put not enough cook chunks.
Okay, so that is recommended. Recommended to the chunk should be fully cooked before Shabbos.
Yeah.
It's recommended. Technically, you could put something that is raw and not going to be ready Friday night. You could do that right before Shabbos. If something is going to be ready at night, you cannot do that rabbinically because we are concerned about adjustments. And remember, if something is not fully cooked and you move it close to the fire, that's called cooking. If it's not fully cooked and you're going to put on a lid, that's called cooking. Taking off the lid and putting it back on, if it's not fully cooked, it's called cooking. So if you take something out and it's not fully cooked, that's called stirring. That's called, now it's going to heat up faster because it has less food in it. You're increasing the heat. So all of these concerns is therefore, it's recommended when you put something on the fire on Friday, it should be fully cooked, not to have any concern about any malacha of cooking. Because sometimes you have a few things on the fire, even if it's, let's say it's the raw meat is in here, and you have another pot that's here, and you want to switch it around. Meanwhile, you're switching around. Meanwhile, you're moving it closer in. You're not even thinking about it because you want to get this pot on. You're moving it here, this get here. There are too many things that could go wrong. And therefore, it's recommended that if you're going to put on a food on the blech, it should be fully cooked. It should be edible to be eaten when you're putting it on Friday for Shabbos. Am I clear on that? Yes.
What about water? If you like water to
Okay, so water has to be fully cooked before Shabbos because water is ready pretty close. Running what water will, if you have put water on the blech and it's not cooked, then it will be ready a Friday night. You might make adjustments, moving it closer, and therefore putting on the lid, checking to see what it is, emptying it out, and it makes everything else cook faster. So then that would be a malacha on Shabbos. So therefore the water also has to be boiled before Shabbos. Yes.
So follow up on that, what about the urn? That also has to be,
Has to be, yes, the urn has to be cooked before Shabbos.
and then the other question is, you said you have to put it on the blech even off the flame before Shabbos, or can you, it's fully cooked, and then on Saturday, take it and put it on the blech?
If it's fully cooked on Shabbos, you're not allowed to put anything on the blech because there is a concept called nira k'mavashel.
So it has to be on the blech
Has to be
before
before
Shabbos.
Shabbos. It has to be on the blech before Shabbos. So there's another concept that's called nira k'mavashel. Nira k'mavashel means it looks like you're cooking. That cannot be done on Shabbos. So let's look at so let's look on page 165. On 165, the food which was completely baked or cooked without liquid may be reheated on Shabbos to a temperature which causes the hand to recoil. You're allowed to because food without any moisture is not subject to cooking once it has been fully cooked. So let's take an example of something that's fully cooked and cold and dry and reheating it. So we just read that it may be done. Let's see how it may be done. So we have, let's take an example. It would be noodles. Lokshen. Noodles have been cooked. They've been drained. And they're in the refrigerator. You take them out, and they did not retain any water. What's the definition if it's wet? When we touch it, and we touch our other hand, the hand is going to be dry. It's not going to transfer any moisture. That's called dry, even though it's clammy, and it feels like, wettish. But the fact that you touch it and you transfer you put it on the next hand, nothing happens. That's called halakhically dry. So now we have the cold noodles. Could we take the cold noodles and put it on the blech? And it looks like you're cooking. As far as someone else, from an outsider, it looks like you're cooking because that's the way we cook. We take things in a pot and put it on a flame. Looks like you're cooking. So therefore, we have to do it in a way that it does not look like you're cooking. What could you do? It has to be very visible that you're only rewarming. How would that be done? So, on the noodles, this is our pot. The pots are on the blech. We take the noodles, cold noodles, dry, fully cooked. We put it on top of a pot. Does anyone cook this way? What are we doing? What would you say? What did I just do? You would say, I am rewarming it. I'm not cooking it, I'm rewarming it. So it's very visible. It's Eine Nirek Mavashal. Nirek Mavashal means it looks like it's being cooked. Eine Nirek Mavashal does not look like it's being cooked. So since cooking something that is fully cooked and dry and cold, you're allowed to reheat it. So you can put it on top of a pot that is on the blech. You can't put it directly on the blech. That looks like you're cooking. You put it on a pot that's on the blech. That is fine.
But you couldn't, even if it was liquid, you couldn't.
No liquid now. Just no liquid. Right
No,
now,
but
this
you
is right.
couldn't put it on the blech anyway, right?
Right. Yes.
Directly if it wasn't
Right.
already.
Right. So as far as this is concerned now, what else could we do here? Okay, these are our noodles. This is our noodles. I have here a radiator. This one does not fit, but you have the radiators that have the steel radiators. You can put something on top.
Yeah.
So now I'm putting it on top over here. So does anyone cook this way? No one cooks this way. So what is being done? It's being reheated. Then we have the some in the kitchen they have a warming drawer. Anyone familiar with a warming drawer?
Yeah.
So a warming drawer, no one cooks in a warming drawer, so you can put it into the warming drawer. What else is there? There is the hot plate. Matters what kind of hot plate there are. There are the hot plates that have the adjustable, low, medium, high. That would be the same as our stovetop. One would cook there as well. Then you have a warming hot plate. It's constant, and it's not. I'm reluctant to say this. I don't know if it's true. But could anyone cook on a hot plate? Can you take a raw food and put it on a hot plate, and it will cook? Could you boil up water on a hot plate? It matters how hot the hot plate is. Therefore, I am reluctant to say anything about a hot plate because ideally, a hot plate is only meant as a warmer. That's what ideally. But you did have some cases where it caused fires from a hot plate because the temperature got too high and it started. I mean, it melted the wires, and you got a fire from this. They tried to make the adjustments, but there was a time where it was a dangerous thing with the hot plates to leave it over Shabbos because of the heat that did accumulate. That would be hot enough to cook. You cook the wires, it cooked the food. So therefore, I'm taking the hot plate out because I don't know if the old hot plates, the new hot plates. But because technically that's a warmer. So using a warmer would be permissible because no one cooks that way. It's not malasayan. It's not nirikam. That would be fine. So let's take the hot plate out. And I don't know what state the hot plate is. Could it cook or not? But in theory, something that's only a warmer, that is a warmer. It doesn't look like you're cooking.
I'm sorry, I still want to clarify putting the pots on, so you can put, because if we can't put something on, but then if there's a pot, you put it over the pot.
Yes.
Can you pour it into the pot? I mean, if it was wet,
So that was all dry.
But the bottom line is with the pots.
So now let's get with the liquid. Okay. I boiled up. I have here boiled water. So what if it's boiled water, it was cooked. For demonstration, I then take this. You don't know that I boiled up the water. Put it in the refrigerator. I take it out. And I ask everyone in class, was this water boiled? You didn't see it was boiled or not. I just take it out of the refrigerator. I boiled it, took it out of the refrigerator, and I say, and everyone sees it's cold. Was this boiled? I have to take it to the laboratory to find out. But anyway, as far as we're concerned, once it becomes cold, it becomes halachically uncooked, and therefore reheating it again would be cooking. It would be not only with water, but any liquid that once it becomes cold, we call that uncooked, and reheating it again, a liquid, that's called cooking. So therefore, anything that is moist enough to transfer the moisture, again, we had now the noodles. The noodles were not drained. And I touch the noodles, my hand becomes wet, enough to transfer the wetness, so the noodles are cooked, but the liquid that's all around it is uncooked because it became cold. Reheating that again on Shabbos is not permissible. So the only time you could reheat a liquid if it's warm enough to have as is. In other words, now we have soup. Took the soup off the blech. Now it cooled down. If you were to serve from this, now you want to put it again. You want to rewarm it again. But again, the only way you'll be able to rewarm it would be to put it on top of another pot. Could you do that? We said with the noodles you could. What about the soup? So if the soup is warm enough to serve as is, that's considered warm. It's still considered cooked. And therefore, putting it on top of another pot or in the warmer, that would be permissible. Now, how about putting it on the blech? So the question is, you have now your soup, it's on the blech, fully cooked, Friday night. You take it off, you want to serve the people, but then there are other guests who are going to be coming because they daven very long, and they daven b'avoda, they're going to come an hour later, and everyone is, you're serving the children first, you took the soup, you served the soup, now you want the soup to be hot, and you want it hot. Putting it on top of the other pots is not going to be hot enough. What could you do to really keep it hot? So that's a term that's called Okay, now this is chazara. Chazara means returning the food on the blech on Shabbos. What are the conditions to be able to do so? So right now we have the soup. We're going to be taking it off. We want to put it back. So now over an open flame. So we're not going to be putting it back on top of a pot. We're going to put it straight on the over the flame. So number one, the flame. Here's our flame. What are the conditions? Number one, here's our flame. Number one, the flame has to be covered. So it's only going to be put it on a blech, on a covered flame. Number two, what is the requirement of must? And if you don't, it's a total transgression. I took off this pot from the flame, and I want to put it back. It has to be fully cooked. I took the soup off. I'm serving the soup to all the children, or the first the ones who are going to be eating the soup first. I want to put it back. So it has to be fully cooked. If it's not fully cooked, it's called cooking on Shabbos. Total transgression. So it's fully cooked. Number three, I am going to hold it. First of all, it's also, by the time I put it back, it's still warm. So the soup I'm going to be putting back is still warm soup. It's edible as is. You serve the soup because it's warm. So number one, it's covered. Number two, it's fully cooked. Number three, it's still warm. Number four, I have to show that I'm only taking it off temporarily. I want to put it back. How do I show that? By holding onto it. I don't put it down and serve. I'm going to be holding onto it. And different standards. There are those who have two people. One person will be holding it, another person will be ladling it, and then it will be placed back on the blech. So that would be one way. Another thing is if you have a handle, you could hold on to it, and then serve, and then put it back. Third thing would be it's too heavy. You don't have another person. It doesn't have a one handle. It's a two handle thing. So then, ideally, you would put it on the countertop in a way that you're holding does make a difference. Because if you would let go of it, so that would be another standard that you're holding actually makes a difference. Or someone holds it this way. You're not actually putting it down, putting it on an angle. What happens if it's too big to you don't want to play these games of holding it in the end and it might really fall. So then you're holding it on again because of the circumstances. It's too big, it's dangerous to keep it on the end, so then you hold on to it. But again, the fact that you're holding it means you're taking it off temporarily. So it's not nearly kamabasha that you're actually going to start cooking to begin with because you're just returning it. It's very visible that you're returning it because you are holding on to it. And then number five is your intention when you took it off to begin with was that you're taking it off to serve and you're going to be putting it back. So there are five conditions to put something back fully cooked. So even if it's a liquid, even if you took the teapot, the tea kettle, you're going to fill up the water with water, the cup with water, and you're going to put it back. So again, you're holding on to it. You're filling it. Your intention was fire is covered. It's fully cooked. That would be permissible.
What was that? What was the fifth one?
Fifth one is your intention. Okay. Please read the remainder of the chapter. We'll try to have one more class on this. I didn't get down to the Klivish Flishi. Still have to test the waters to see how hot it is. Okay. Does anyone need anything on the board still? Could you raise?